Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Konrad Gorlinski. Robert Lewandowski. This name is known all around the world, and rightfully so. The best football player on this planet is both hardworking, modest, and a gifted and professional sportsman. He made history on Saturday in a match of the Bundesliga. Literally seconds before the end of the match, Lewandowski scored his 41st goal of this season, beating a nearly 50-year-old record of 40 goals by legendary player Gerd Mueller. Speaking to the Bundesliga portal, Lewandowski said, "I have to say I never dreamt about breaking this record, to score more than 40 goals, because I thought it'd be impossible. If you only have 34 games, and I played 29 games, so that's why I still don't believe what I did. But I think of this whole game I scored in the last seconds, not only the last minute. I was trying 3, 4, 5 times to score, but I couldn't. And the last situation came and I scored the goal. This is something special, something historic. I still don't believe it, but maybe tomorrow, maybe even 1 or 2 weeks later, I'll understand what I did." This season, Robert Lewandowski registered 5 braces, 4 hat tricks, and 1 4-goal blitz. He scored in 25 of 29 matches he featured in. His most prolific burst fell between match days 21 and 34 when he tallied 17 goals in 10 appearances. Gerd Mueller, when he set the 40-goal record in 1971-72, played in all 34 of Bayern's league fixtures. Last season's average for Lewandowski was 1 goal every 60 minutes. Besides being the first player in history to score more than 40 goals in a single Bundesliga season, he is the top scorer for 4 years running. In German football scores, Lewandowski is followed by Portugal player André Silva of Eintracht Frankfurt, who scored 28 goals. The European Union has approved the EU digital COVID certificate for use across the bloc beginning July 1st, just in time to usher in a return to summer tourism and non-essential travel across the bloc. The digital pass is designed to be recognized and readable by authorities across the EU. It will demonstrate whether a bearer has been vaccinated against COVID-19, has been recently tested, or has acquired immunity from previously contracting the disease and recovering. Member states have not agreed on a common standard on when a PCR or lateral flow COVID-19 test must have been performed to remain valid. The rule varies between 24 and 72 hours ahead of arrival. To prove acquired immunity, a PCR test from the time of the infection can be produced, but the protection is only considered to last for 180 days, and member states may individually decide on a shorter period. Antibody testing is not yet judged sufficiently reliable to demonstrate acquired immunity, but this will be reviewed within 4 months of the regulation going into effect. We will no longer need any written certificates. It will be replaced by information stored on a phone or computer system. This will make travel almost as it was before. This solution protects the country from accepting infected people who can cause another epidemic. I support the vaccinations, so it's not a problem for me. If it turns out that if you are vaccinated, you can travel, for me, okay. If the concerts are in the open air, such a thing is unnecessary, but for a concert in a club, some precautions are needed. We're waiting for it. For now, we only have certificates like this. I do not understand the resistance to these passports. It makes life easier. For yet another day, the coronavirus pandemic in Poland is abating. The health ministry has confirmed 1,075 infections and 46 deaths for Saturday. The number of infections recorded yesterday was 1,075, and 46 patients suffering from COVID-19 have died. The number of vaccinations administered across Poland is 17,867,000. The first dose has been received by over 12,710,000 people, and 5,553,000 are now fully vaccinated with 2 doses. The Catholic Church is celebrating Pentecost, which comes 50 days after Easter and ends the Easter liturgical season. Pentecost marks the day on which the Holy Spirit inspired the apostles who were gathered with Our Lady in the upper room. Today we can say that this was the beginning of the Church, when it reached out to spread the good news. These handful of fearful apostles became brave heralds of the gospel, willing to lay down their lives for it. Also today, to maintain faith, we need the gifts of the Holy Spirit. For example, the gift of courage. Not to go with the flow of the mainstream, but stand up for what our conscience, enlightened by faith, says to us. And thanks very much for tuning in, and have a great week ahead.